Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking a look at a collaboration between Wargames Atlantic and ZombieSmith for this Quars War, a clash of rifles. Okay, so this Quars War, the Clash of Rifles box set. This is a collaboration between Wargames Atlantic and ZombieSmith, and it's an interesting little box. I'll get into the contents in a moment, but an awful lot of people have started seeing this pop up, and the main question is, what is this Quars War? What's going on? The Quar are a type of anteater race, so the whole world is filled with an unusual range of fantastical creatures. They have a cavalry unit that doesn't bear resemblance to any sort of existing animal. The Quar themselves have been in a civil war for 700 years. I say civil war. It expands past boundaries. It's more a war of concepts. So the Royalists, the Coftyrans, have been pushing to maintain the status quo of their style of life through politics, religion, whatever. So it's not a defined specific one ruling body. It's people with the traditionalist aspect. The Crusaders, actually that's the Coftyrans, that's the Crusaders. Crusaders are pushing for a classless system where people are brought up on merit instead. And again, it's not one overall group that's in control of the Crusaders, like it's not one overall group in charge of the Coftyran, the Royalists. In both cases, they're connected by ideological concept rather than a specific thing. So within both factions, there are various reasons why they may be pushing. So World War I anteaters is the best way to put it. And when I say World War I, it's the level of tech they're at, although there are changes beyond that as well. It gives you here the breakdown about the Quar, so you can have a wee read of that. The box contains activation cards, a rulebook, some dice, the plastic Quar, and the plastic bases needed for them. Flip it over and open it up. I will point out things like this vehicle are available as well, along with some other tractor-like things. So the box contains sprues, 1, 2, 3, 4 of. Take a look at those in more detail in a moment. It contains a Rhyfles pocketbook. So this is a little A5 book, which has the rules in it. The activation cards. Obviously the bases, so Wargames Atlantic's 25mm rounds. Our dices. We have a little Clash of Rifles poster, which is also the quick reference sheet on the back. And finally there's the rest of the box, and before I chuck the box away, I'm actually going to see if I can pop this out. Okay, so the top of the box is actually glued down, but the bottom of the box is not. It's just folded in, and around the outside edges have been included some cardboard terrain for you to stick around your table. So there is parts of a little shack, a host of purple plants, some green bushes and additional flowers for decoration, in case you want to be doing it in summer when they're in bloom, and also barbed wire sections. And they're printed on both sides of the box, so printed along the fold which means that you can then go ahead and cut these out and decorate your tabletop. Okay, so that's a neat little idea with the box lid, which means if you are just picking this up for the first time, you've got a bit of cover to play around. I know obviously a lot of people will have stuff already, but it's nice to see that they're making use of all of the buffalo, so to speak. The Rhyfles pocketbook then, so A5, Tactics for Victory in Small-Scale Engagement, prepared under the direction of the Department for Strategic Affairs. So this isn't just the rules. It gives you a little bit of the background for the Rhyfles as well. So what the world is like. The world has a very Celtic feel to it. It's very Brittonic. So you've got a lot of Welsh / Irish or Scots, Gaelic creeping in there as well. I like the fact Leitrim's there. So this is obviously a much bigger map scaled down. We have the background and core concepts for the game itself. All of these rules, along with the larger war game, because this is a skirmish game, are available from ZombieSmith's website as PDFs for free, which is nice. So if you want to have a look at the rules and the ton of background, of which there is a lot, then you can have a look there. Here you see some of that with Mayor Breck and the Crusade. So the game itself, like I say, D6 based, and generally you only have a small amount of troops on the tabletop. The Crusaders use a bogan rifle, which is like a submachine gun. Short range, a lot of dice, a lot of attacks. Here you can see the standard issue Crusader uniform. Know them by the shape of their big crossed helmets. There's the different types of weaponry that they'll be accompanied with, including support weapons. Croft here, so your traditionalists or royalists. Slightly different organisation, favouring the Harlech rifle, which is a long-range single-shot affair. So right there you can see the sort of concepts of military and how they play out changes. Crusaders up close and personal, and for a long time, by weight of numbers, they pushed the Coftyrans back. But now things have sort of equalised a bit. They don't have the numbers to continue throwing people away, so their accelerating avalanche of an assault has been slowly stopped. So there's our book. Like I say, really nice set of rules and a very brief summation of the Quar as well. Definitely worth having a look at the other downloads on ZombieSmith's website, because there's a ton more information. If we take a look at the quick reference here, you can see the stat lines listed again, the combat procedure. The game is based on activations. And an interesting little thing is when you activate, your opponent draws a card. And depending on the amount of activations is the amount of things that Quar can do. The thing is, you don't get to find out what this is. So he would draw one, you'd go to move, and then maybe make another move or make an aim, and then shoot, and then ask your opponent, do you have another activation? And they go, yes, or no, based on the leaves of the trees. So, as you can see here, they have a sort of worn style to them, like they've been done inland, and there's little tea stains in places. So you can ignore the colours, instead just count the leaves. There are mostly 4s, I think, with a couple of 3s and a couple of 5s. He said that could be entirely wrong. Let me just check, actually. 4, 3, 5. There we go. So 3 3s, 3 5s, and 4 4s. So you know you're going to have at least 3 activations. Sometimes you may find that you have 4 or 5. However, you could extend yourself thinking that you're going to have more activations to play with. So it's very important that you plan out without overextending, although there'll be some times where you may end up going off half-cocked, maybe taking a shot too early when you had more time because you actually had one of those 5 activation cards instead. So I like that. It adds a nice bit of fog and friction. The cards themselves are standard card size. They are not linen, they're like a satin gloss finish. So they should be relatively hard wearing. You can always get regular deck protector to pop them into if you want to protect them for a bit longer. So let's have a look at the sprues. Okay, so here's the sprue. When I said it comes with 4 sprues, actually it comes with 8 sprues. They are half sprues, and there are 4 for the Coftyrans and 4 for the Crusaders. So we'll take a look at the Coftyrans first. At the top you can see we have sort of bread canisters, backpacks with entrenching tools. There's a little officer or NCO soft cover there. Selection of arms are 3 Coftyrans heads, and then a range of weapons. Harlech rifles in the main. There's a Doru submachine gun, and then the Rishi light machine gun. So sort of a squad support weapon. We have a little bag down here with some baguettes, another Doru, and some more rifles. Then there are the bodies, 1, 2, 3 per sprue, and they are not interchangeable with the torsos, at least not easily. Nice level of detail on them. Everybody's numbered and lettered. So for example, if I want to use a specific weapon combination, you'll see that it may say 22RI for this little Doru arm here, and then you look for the subsequent 22R. Oh, it's a 2, so that must be a 1. 22R2 for the braced arm. So that's the sprue. Quick look at the back. Delightful work. Now, the figures then. So, I've made up a set. We have an officer, Yodril, I believe, with his Doru, coming equipped for food. There's extra canisters I popped on the top of some of the backpacks. Optional, you could have them hanging elsewhere, I suppose. It's a very simple build. Just brace the submachine gun on his belt and give him some extra pouches for ammo on the front of his webbing. They are, in case you're wondering, approximately 25mm to eye level, maybe a bit lower, 23 maybe to eye level. There are anti-eaters, it's difficult to say where their eyes are under those helmets. Then I have some of my riflers for the crime muster. So this one, who's telling the squad to halt. The idea there is when you're running the Coftyrans, it's a 10-man unit. mostly armed with Harlock rifles. However, they can split when they deploy into a section led by the Yodril with riflemen. And then the other half of the squad becomes a support section. So a loader and the light machine gun. And they're led by essentially an NCO, a little Coftyrans, I think it's a Milner. So he's my little section leader if I break them up. Good build. Slight cleanup to do on some of the bodies. I've not done any cleanup on these beyond cutting them off and popping them on. Only issue I ran into, and it's a small thing, is the sprue gates for the backpacks just come in on either side on the pouches. So there's a bit of cleanup to do because you can't get a pair of clippers in neatly against that because the top of the pouch overhangs. But that was the only issue I ran into with that. So those are our Coftyrans for the Crime Mister. Now let's take a look at the Crusaders. All right, and here is the Crusader half sprue. Again, 3 per sprue. So individual bodies and then front of the torsos. Then we have weapons. Bogan, sort of assault rifles. A little forage cap or soft cover for either your Yodril or Milner. Grenade chucking hand. Rishi with bayonet. These are actually the Rishi. The Coftyran has a Crofen light support gun. I'm very sorry. These names are all new to me. More Bogan. 2 more Rishis. Another Bogan. Then we have our pouches. Crusaders with that crossed helm, which you'll see in a moment. Again, everything labelled. Letters and numbers if required to make life easy to put together. The reverse, not much going on there. Most of it's all up front. So, taking a look at them. So here's one of the Rishi. There you can see the sort of cut out cross section helms of the Crusaders. Additional packs, stick them on wherever you want, really. These, as opposed to the 10-man that can split into 2 sections, a sort of a 6-man and 4-man fire team, these are deployed in essentially 3 waves of 3. So 2 Bogan and a Rishi in each wave, with the Yodril either joining one of these or standing behind all 3 waves, making sure that they go where they need to and not come back. Here I've got one with the soft cover on, lobbing canisters everywhere. I really like the look of the whole setup. They're a gorgeous set of figures and very unique. I say unique. I mean, if you were to hand me a book with these guys in them, written for children, you would go, well, yeah, 100%. I've seen this sort of thing in my youth. Long beaks, big bodies. It's like a cartoon come to World War I wargaming life. There's some more Bogans, so plenty of opportunities to play around with these guys. And because your squads are always going to be a 3-man section, 3 Rishi per sprue means that you're not going to have too much duplication with your support weapon. So it's quite nice in that respect. All right, folks, there you have it. The 2-player starter set in all its anti-tree glory. Really nice set of plastics, as you'd expect. Obviously, they have that really unique design from ZombieSmith, the tubby, cartoony anteater look is very much in this year. The quality of the two-player starter set is great. Nice little A5 pocketbook of rules to gently ease you into the world. The sky's the limit, obviously, for this skirmish game where you're playing a dozen aside. Everything you need's in there, and then it can be expanded upon. Josh was saying that there's going to be additional PVC plastic sort of officers and support weapons and characters available from both himself and Wargames Atlantic, and that the plastic components from the sprues will be cross-compatible with those bodies for the officers and that sort of thing as well. So they're making the core sprue set do a lot of heavy lifting, especially when people decide to expand into the mass battle game. I say mass battle, sort of large-scale skirmish and beyond. There's cavalry and all sorts coming as well down the road. But anyway, let me know what you think of this Quars War, if you've been into it before, or if this is the first time seeing it. Let me know what you think below. Until next time, bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.